Shubham,
Shubham,
Drishtisteya,
Drishtisteya,
beneficial aspect or yuti. You asked about aspects before again? It's confirmed. Drishti can be aspect also. Beneficial aspect or yuti, conjunction, on the 10th house from Swamsha produces stable fortune. Malefics cause fluctuation of fortune. Parashara adds that benefics joining or aspecting the 10th house from Swamsha not only gives stable fortunes, but also makes the person serious, strong, and intelligent. This is good, no? Malefics will not only harm the business career, but also deny filial bliss. What is filial bliss?
There's an Englishman in the room.
I've never seen the word filial.
I'm guessing financial bliss.
That makes sense to me also. Filial is a reference to how the business is running. Okay. Mercury and Venus give success in trade or career and produce great works. Sun, Moon and Jupiter, so related to the 10th, will give Raja Yoga. So the Sun is not considered a malefic in this scheme. What is said about planets in or aspect in the 10th house is also applicable to the 10th Lord. If the 10th Lord is ill-placed, there will be many troubles. You should keep that in mind. Therefore also, when you have to look at the 10th house, balance the 10 planets associated with the 10th house with the 10th Lord. And advise career professions, if you may, or places of work associated with the good planets associated with the 10th house. By doing so, you're ensuring the person will have good and stable earnings. Inevitably, whatever is wrong with the 10th house, whatever is malefic about the 10th house, the person will lose money through. And they're destined to do so. Okay? They will lose money through that, planets which are negative with the 10th house or lording it. For example, if the Sun is the 10th Lord and is ill-placed, then there are many troubles from government or father. Remedy: offering bilva leaves to Shiva removes all problems, because the Sun, being 10th Lord, can be worshipped as Shiva. Right? So the Graha itself can also be worshipped. Alright? Does this make sense to you? I'll go to the next slide.
Do you have any suggestions to some more accessible remedies rather than bilva leaves, which is something I've never heard of before?
There's also a mantra you can do. When you do it, it's like offering bilva leaves to Shiva. Shiva mantra is the remedy. Okay? Yes?
Maybe it's a stupid question, but this pair of planets are actually almost all the time is a benefic transforming into malefic. That means, like, if you have a strong malefics in 10th house, that means we're gonna have on our head a lot of benefics. That means if we are doing some kind, generally, just a general statement, if you are doing some very heavy, complex, ugly work, we're gonna be actually nice and fine. And if somebody is like having Venus, Moon or whatever up there in 10th house, like in fashion business, doing some fine stuff, he is actually gonna be wicked inside, in his mind. That conversion, I mean, is it like a general rule, or is it used just in some cases, or how it is used? Like if you have...
I said the other day that among the Mahavidya, when you look at the mothers, divine mothers, why am I talking about mothers? Because the 10th, 4th axis has to do with that. When you look at the mother, normally the most aggressive looking forms give the sweetest effect, and the sweetest looking forms give the most aggressive effect.
Yeah.
Okay? So it is related to that. Something which works hard to keep up a very nice, good appearance must work very hard at that. Requires malefic energy to make sure everything is in order, everything is in place, everything is thought of, taken care of. There's not much room for laxity. Alright?
Okay.
Think in those terms. It is the example you gave is very general, very, very general.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't apply to all planets, as you also seen, Moon and Jupiter, right? So largely we can say that's the case, but also there are some exceptions. Yes,
That,
Maya?
because I had the same confusion. I think I can understand what is your confusion in this story. You see, these malefics in 10th house are having impact on the 10th house itself. So it is the people who will earn from these malefics. So it can be.
So nice guys earn from
no,
bad guys.
No,
and
no,
bad
no, no, no.
guys earn
It's
from
you
nice
earning.
guys.
It's
Sandeep
you
says
earning.
yes, it's true.
It's you earning from these bad guys in the 10th house. And they're having
I
impact on
understand
their
what
10th
he's
house.
saying though, I understand his point,
But
it
the impact on
appears to-
Lagna is not of these malefics, and what you will do for these bad guys is not these malefics. It's those counted forth from them in Vara Chakra. What you will do for them, and what is the impact on your Lagna. Not on the 10th house, but on your Lagna. When you count 4 therefrom. I had really great confusion when the first time I heard about this rule, and it sounded exactly that way. So maybe
Okay.
this is explaining it a bit.
I think there's some examples coming
I
up.
understand his point though, because I had the same confusion, so I think what Guruji said maybe makes, maybe clears it up a bit.
Let's move on. Find some
Okay.
examples. Okay. What now? Just so that you have something to work from, we had done this earlier. Now it's actually written out. The first and his trines indicate the dharma or path. The 10th and his trines indicate artha or wealth. 11th and his trines indicate common relationships, and the 4th and his trines indicate moksha and spirituality. And that is also how we'll approach planets placed in these houses in Navamsha. That is also why the 11th and its trines, when we are speaking of them, relates to relations. Must be friends. Now, why 10th specifically had to do with wealth? Why the 12th and its trine specifically had to do with spirituality? So let's get to this sutra, one of my favorite sutra. Ravo
Ravo,
Guru Matra Drishte
Guru Matra Drishte,
Gopala.
Gopala.
So when I was mentioning Gopala Yoga, this is the sutra for Gopala Yoga. Sun Jupiter, Gopala Yoga. Gopala. This is your yoga, Sun Jupiter. Your Sun Jupiter joining Navamsha?
Yeah.
This is your yoga.
Okay.
Now, this is 2 meanings. Number 1, when Sun and Jupiter join, it indicates the form of God is Gopala Krishna. That's one meaning. Go means cow, pala means to protect. So somebody who protects cows is indicated by the same yoga when associated with the 10th house. Let's try and understand this. Sun in the 10th aspected or conjoined by Jupiter alone, Matra means alone, no other planets aspected, produces a cowherd or milkman, or one associated in some manner with animal husbandry. Okay. Now, this seems quite in contrast to Parashara, who views that Raja Yoga results when these two are associated with the 10. But then he speaks of individual planets alone, that is, either Sun or Jupiter. When 2 or more planets involved, then their effects have to be taken together. Let us try adding them based on Vara Chakra. If we take the joint effect of Sun and Jupiter, it becomes Sun is number 1 in the Navagraha, Jupiter is number 5. So this is not Guna Chakra, it's Vara Chakra. 1 plus 5 is 6. That means Venus. Now, so that's like Venus in 10th house, correct? And transform this to the Lagna, then Venus becomes Ketu.
Because you can't fall.
Because you can't, from Venus, 4th therefrom is Ketu. So when you have multiple associations with the 10th house, you must add the planets. Right? Okay. And he makes a nice point here. Thus the karma of tending sheep or tending cows has the impact of Moksha Karaka Ketu on the Lagna. See, indeed, this Sun-Jupiter yoga, if we take it in isolation, what will happen? Sun will become which graha?
4th from there. The 5th. Venus.
4th from there is?
5th, Venus.
No. Sun,
No.
Moon, Mars, Mercury.
Okay, sorry. Yes.
Jupiter will become
Rahu.
Jupiter, Venus, Saturn, Rahu. Correct? Rahu is supposed to be the one who has the power to handle animals. And Mercury indicates somebody who in some way or the other will earn from there. The impact of this finally on the person will be Ketu, because of the conjoined effect of the two. So when you have multiple yogas, if you want to see the real impact on you, add the two grahas together in the Vara Chakra order and see what effect it has. So in Maya's case, she has Mars and Rahu in 10th house in Navamsha.
Mhm.
This is in Capricorn Navamsha. Do any more planets aspect by Rashi Drishti Capricorn?
Chandra
Moon.
in Vrishtika, yes.
Okay. We'll take numbers of all of them. Moon is which number?
2.
2. Mars is which number?
3.
3. 2 plus 3 is 5. Rahu is which number?
8.
8. 3 plus 8 is?
13.
11.
I'm sorry, we have to take 5 plus 8, right?
Yeah,
2
13.
plus 3?
13.
5 plus 8 is?
13.
13. We still have to get a graha number lower than 9, right?
Greece.
So add 1 and 3 in 13?
4. 4.
4.
Plus
Mercury.
4.
4. So it is like having which graha on Lagna?
Mercury.
Mercury on. No,
Are we
not
not
Mercury.
supposed
ten.
to count
Mercury in
therefrom?
10th. It's like having Mercury in 10th.
Mhm.
Now count from Mercury, the 4th graha.
It's
Mercury,
Rahu.
Jupiter, Venus, Rahu.
Mercury,
Saturn.
Jupiter,
Saturn.
Venus,
Oh,
Saturn.
yes.
So that conjoined effect of all those three on the 10th house is like having Saturn on Lagna. So Saturn and Lagna will be Prasida, somebody who does some work, a traditional work, some work that's been done by others earlier.
Do we still count it as Manakakstan though?
No, we don't.
Okay.
Because the graha is in 10th.
Yeah, so it's, because it's not there, it doesn't have that effect.
Yes. Karma Jivacha means the person will be able to do many types of work. Is a person who can adjust to almost any work scenario. You found something outside? Okay.
No, I was. So, Jens is actually feeding us. Here, his sheep. He's gonna get moksha because of that.
Nice, eh? That's nice. This is very nice. Yes, Dennis?
I'm just thinking, and I might be thinking too far, so stop me, but do you do the same with for instance, Pravraj Yogas? Do you add all the different, like 4 or more grahas in one house? Because that has a total different conjunction or connotation, doesn't it?
We do.
Oh, you do.
We do. That's right, Dennis. Like if multiple grahas are joined in a house, to really see what impact it has on the person, we can add all the grahas together. All of them. Just to get a number, and that number gives us a graha. Then we understand what the grahas are doing.
Amazing.
So when you don't know what multiple grahas are doing in a sign, you can add them together. For example, if Sun is in a house with Jupiter and with Saturn. Sun is number 1. Jupiter's number?
5.
5. Becomes 6 in total. Then Saturn we had. Saturn is number?
7.
6 plus 7 is?
13.
13.
Add the 2 together. 1 and 3? 4.
Mercury.
So the impact on that of those 3 is 4. So it is like having Mercury in that house. So the person will earn from Mercury. Alright? Good.
Oh, then it makes sense. In my case. Then it makes sense in my case.
What makes sense?
Well, this Mercury in 10.
Mercury in 10th. So that means that you are likely to do some work which is for maybe in a field of education, academia, Mercury, wherein which you will be doing something either traditional or something else related to Saturn. Okay? See that? Means it could be a tradition or something.
I got 5 Jupiter in 10th.
What, you have Jupiter in 10th?
Something like this. If I add all the numbers,
Which one numbers?
Moon, Surya, Mercury and Shani. Dirishti is on my 10th house.
Oh, okay, this is your chunk. Our personal consultation. Okay, no problem. We said 10th house in your case is
Aquarius.
in Navamsha, Aquarius. And there is moon and
There is
aspecting
Surya and Mercury and Shani.
Sun, Mercury, Saturn.
Mhm.
So can you do that for us? Sun plus moon plus Mercury plus Saturn. Sun plus moon is
3.
3. Plus Mercury,
7.
7 total. Plus Saturn,
Another 7.
another 7, 14.
5.
5.
5.
It's good.
Jupiter. So the person will do something related to Jupiter.
Mhm.
The impact on the Lagna is
Rahu.
Rahu. So here's a person who will who will work in an academical field again, Jupiter, and the impact on the Lagna is Rahu. So that means can do something very abstract. It's very abstract. If we talk about mathematics, it will be the quantum physics. If we talk about spirituality, then it has to do with symbology. Rahu is all about symbology, words and mantras as well. People who work within this are usually the people who deal with, for example, one field is tarot. One field is tarot.
I don't like that.
That's a separate issue. It's just one of the fields. What you will specifically like is seen from that sign. Okay? Like that is the sign of Aquarius, right? So you'll be more interested in things which have like an image, like a drawing, like a yantra.
Yantras.
Yes. Okay?
Your neck.
For example, 29 is moon, right? 29. Because 9 plus
2 plus 9, 11, plus 1 is 2. Yes. correct.
This.
Ah, you found your profession. Ah.
Language teacher.
Is it the real profession?
It is the profession which is good for you. See, when you use this, first thing you do when you read a Navamsha chart and you want to advise something, see which is stronger, first house or 10th house. Okay?
Yes.
Now, you have to be a bit open. I can tell you the shortcut, or I can tell you what is going to happen to the person.
Shortcut.
So let me start with what is going to happen to the person. What will happen to the person is they'll choose either their Lagna or their 10th house, whichever has more planets. They'll choose one of them. Always. They'll choose them. And that they will choose first. And that they'll choose first may not be good for them. Okay? That is why I have shortcut method. Shortcut method is, of all the grahas associated with 1st and 10th house, the trines, and so on, I see that which is best placed. Planets in own sign, exaltation, Mula Trikona, friendly sign at least. I see that graha which is best placed. And I advise that profession. But it may not be the profession they'll start with. Okay?
Does one consider Dikpal as well in this scheme?
I have not seen it being considered. So I cannot accommodate that. Excuse me. Interesting. So Maya's questions are getting answered in full now. Confusion about 10th house, 11th house, 12th house, right? It's all clear now. Why some people say only 10th, then some people say 10th and 11th, why people say 10th,
Yes,
11th, 12th. Now it's clear.
Once one of your colleagues told me like, no, it's 10th and 11th. I said, how come? The first time I heard it was 10, 11th and 12th. No, just these shani naturally lording bhavas. I said, okay, fine.
How do we differentiate the results seen in the Navamsha in the 10th house from the Rashi chart, 10th house, the planets in it?
Easy. 10,000 Rashi is how you work.
Okay.
10,000 Navamsha, what you can earn from working.
Okay.
Simple. When you get all the Rashis clear, that's all the powers clear. 10,000 from Moon in Rashi. Which title you think you should have for your work? Like if 10th Lord from Moon is Mars, you think your title should be engineer. Engineer. Okay? You call yourself that. Like Visti Larsen, 10th house from his moon is Gemini. The Lord Mercury is joined Jupiter. So he believes he should be called scholar. Preferably you should call him Pandit. Pandit is best. Like Pandit. That's how it works. It's also the good name to give yourself when you have to write a book or write something. Business cards, you should put that there.
Put engineer.
Like I can put Jyotish Guru. I can put that. Mercury, Jupiter. What? Engineer?
Yeah.
You think of some other Mars, then we can talk. Okay? Ha. So, here's an example. Illustration 1. In the 10th house, in this Navamsha, we'll start with Navamsha Lagna, alright? In the 10th house, in this Navamsha, Mercury is there. It will give whose effect on the Lagna? Saturn's effect. Alright. Venus and Ketu are already on Lagna. So if you add Saturn to that, you get Tapasvi Yoga.
So we can do that.
Yeah, you can. Okay? So as a result, this Mercury in 10th and this Venus Ketu in Lagna is like Tapasvi Yoga. So the person is likely to do some Tapasvi. The profession will be related to that. Also by default you can say, Mercury is in 10th house, the person will do something which is traditional. A traditional profession. Something which his elders have done before him. Alright? 10th Lord is the Sun, and Sun is placed in 3rd house. This can be financial problems from government or father. He had problems with father due to finances.
Do we calculate this Sun plus Moon relating to 10th house and then
Sun plus Mercury.
Sun plus Mercury, sorry.
Yes, do it. Sun is?
1,
Mercury is?
4,
1 plus 4 is?
5,
Okay, now that's Jupiter, right? So Jupiter in 10th house.
yes.
Now, count Jupiter 4th Graha.
Is like
Jupiter,
Rahu,
Venus, Saturn, Rahu. So, it gives the impact of Rahu on Lagna. Ketu's on Lagna, so you will not accept Rahu. Think of that. Ketu's on Lagna, you will not accept Rahu. Now see Rahu in the chart. Rahu's joined Mars, 7th house, Marnakakstan. He was, at one point in time, employed in a section of government whose sole purpose was to investigate the misuse of funds in government. We have another yoga for this, looking for a scandal yoga. Okay? So what is that? That is Rahu's impact. He didn't do it for long, but he was employed and was considered one of the best in his field. But also because of his position, there were a few conflicts, obviously. If you're looking into somebody's dirty laundry, either they'll be very nice to you or the exact opposite. So you obviously, this is what happened with that Rahu. He got that posting because of his wife. See that? Rahu and Sarah.
First one.
First wife, yes. First wife, that's second wife.
Amazing.
Smart, eh?
No, amazing. Not just smart.
That's 11th house has Saturn. It's like Ketu on Lagna. In 11th house, Saturn is Labhasthana, right? Labhasthana. So the appropriate mantra for Ganesha should have the name Labha in it. So Om Laksha Labha Yutaya Siddhi Buddhi Sahitaya Ganapataye Namah. Now let's see what's more is here. 12th Lord Venus. See, there's no planet here. There's no planet here. So take the Lord. So Venus. So imagine if Venus is in 12th house. After Venus comes? Saturn. So Venus in 12th is like having Saturn on Lagna. So his spiritual approach, how he'll approach spirituality, will be through Saturn. So something very traditional. So again, in fact, what was the case is that he learned all his spiritual knowledge from the tradition. He had to just grow up, go to his uncle, that's it. The whole spiritual knowledge came from there. So the tradition did it, in his case. Any other grahas associated with that 12th house? Jupiter and Mercury also associated. So these will give also means to approach spirituality. So later, one Jupiter will show up in his life. Or we can take both jointly. Let's try. Jupiter's number?
Is
Five.
number 5.
But Rahu
Mer-
and Mangal are also expecting.
Oh
12.
yeah, we have to add all of them. Okay, come. Jupiter is number?
5.
One,
Mercury's number?
4.
That's 9. Mars' number?
3.
3. That's 12.
12.
Plus Rahu number?
8.
8.
8. So 20. 20 remove multiples of 9?
That's 2.
2.
2. So it's like having moon in 12th house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But now you are removing
You're removing
multiples of
them.
9, and in previous case you have added.
Try both ways. You have 20.
It's gonna end up the same.
Remove multiples of 9, you'll get 2.
Yeah.
Add 2 and 0, you'll get 2.
Sorry.
Adding 2 and 0 is just a quick way. It's the same result. It's just a quick way, not fast.
Okay.
Letting math now. So 2. So it's like having moon in 12th house. Uh-huh.
You must be proud of me now.
How to approach moon? Moon represents Devi, correct?
Yeah.
So how is he going to approach the Devi? Through Mars, second there from. So, he has joined now a spiritual ashram called Sharada Mat. Sharada Mat refers to the Devi Sharada, Devi. And you do so through Mars. How do you do so through Mars? Hmm? You can, yes. He learned a lot of Mahavidya sadhana, and he did it through Bagala worship, yes, you can infer that. Other Martian activities could also be inferred by this. That we'll have to ask him. I don't know those details. About how he did it, all those things.
Could it be like fire
Horns,
rituals?
fires, yes.
Yes, that would be the inference. Fire rituals, or it is everything related to Agni. Yes, correct.
So in fact, if we have like 12 from Karkamsha, if we have like a lot of planets, we have to add up everything and then see how it works out.
Yes, and this is for spirituality. This is for going to the next spiritual place. Going to an ashram. Going to a place of worship. Starting to do some personal sadhana. That's all associated with 12th house from Nalamsha like that. We haven't talked about that so much yet. There's a whole lecture just on that. We'll get there. Okay.
Do we taking only Drishti?
Yes, only Rashi Drishti. Wow. Here is the chart of a businessman. Rahu is in 10th house. When Rahu is in 10th house, it gives Moon's effect on Lagna. When Moon is in 10th house, it gives Jupiter's effect on Lagna. Okay. There are 2 grahas in 10th and 1 graha in the Lagna. Okay. What do we add the 2? Rahu is number?
8.
9.
Rahu is
8,
number
8.
Moon is number?
2.
So that becomes
11.
10.
8 plus 2 becomes
10.
Oh, 10.
10.
Wow, I'm very good at
Remove
math.
multiples of 9?
1.
1. So it's like having Sun in 10th house, correct?
Yes.
What is the effect on Lagna? Are we done adding? Should we add some more grahas?
We had Rahu and Moon, right?
Yes.
But what about Mangal? We should add that also.
Mangal is where? Mangal is here, in the Lagna. We should add Sun. He's aspecting.
One is 2.
So add one more.
So,
So Sun becomes plus 1, 2, Moon. So effect of Moon in 10th is?
Jupiter.
Jupiter. So the impact on him will be Jupiter. And this will act like Moon over here in the 10th. So let's see what it says. During Moon Dasha, he did money lending business. Effect of Jupiter on Lagna. We did that calculation, right? We got Jupiter on Lagna. So he did money lending business in Moon Dasha. Exactly right. Moon gives effects of Jupiter. Exactly it happened. During Mars Dasha, he wanted to become a technocrat and started a plastic engineering business. Mars is on Lagna over here, right? So he'll want to do something related to engineering, something related to fire. This is not related to this 10th house. Jupiter is 7th lord of Rashi chart, indicating spouse. and is in spite of this scribe warning him,
It's also Badakish.
he lent a huge sum to his brother-in-law. Now, what is the problem with that? Why is this a problem? Jupiter of Rashi chart. Jupiter in Rashi chart is 7th lord, correct?
Mm.
It's in 12th house in Navamsha. So, this means there can be losses on account of spouse. Here is another principle of using Navamsha. You can take the lordships of the Rashi and see them from Lagna and Navamsha, through which you will see the real fortune that you have with those people in your life. So did you understand? In his Rashi, Gemini is the Lagna, Jupiter is the 7th lord. 7th lord is in 12th house in Navamsha. So he will have losses through spouse. Jupiter does not indicate a lady, it indicates a man. And Jupiter specifically indicates brothers. So it will be spouse's brother. Okay? The money never came back, and his money lending business ended. Even the engineering business flopped, as Mars had no effect on 10th house or 2nd house. So the grahas, despite being in Lagna, must have a link to the 10th house for you to earn money from them. You may have lots of knowledge, but the thing is, he was not doing the engineering. He was just hiring other people to do it. If he himself had sat down and done all this work, it would be fine. Finally, before Rahu Dasha started, he was categorically told to do business with water or liquids. See, the planets here in the 10th house are like moon, we calculated, right? We added this Rahu, moon and sun, and then we found moon as the result. Correct? So if he does a business with liquids, he will get Jupiter on Lagna, which is very good. And he has amassed a fortune. Rahu is 2nd lord in 10th house and aspects the 2nd house as well, which also adds to finances. How does that sound?
Complicated.
Because you're reading the notes too much. See? We added all these planets and we found it's like moon on 10th. So what was the prediction? Moon work will give it the impact of Jupiter on Lagna. Alright? Because of this moon in 10th, he wanted to do money lending business. Because he was good at money lending business.
Because of the Jupiter effect on that.
Yes. But the business itself should be dealing with moon.
Okay, so why didn't we add like the Jupiter effect on Lagna, and Lagna has Mars, and we should add those two as well?
No, Mars is not associating with Lagna.
Oh, okay.
With 10.
10th
So-
house, sorry.
Also the dashas affects these.
Yes. Dashas will try to give individual results. Like during Sun Dasha, it'll try to give Mercury's results. Because Sun aspects 10th. During Rahu Dasha, it'll try to give Moon's results. Moon Dasha, it'll try to give Jupiter's results individually. They'll all try individually to give their own way. Even Venus, which lords the 10th house, will try to give his results in some way. What is Venus? Venus, Saturn, Rahu, Ketu. So during Venus Dasha, lording the 10th, he'll try to give Venus's results, Ketu's results. No mistake.
But which Vimshottari are
Vimshottari. Plain Vimshottari. I said, plain Vimshottari will work beautifully with Navamsha. Beautifully it'll work. People will wonder, what are you predicting? Some graha here, some graha there. You're giving some other graha's results and predicting. It works. It really works.
I'll do it.
How long have I talked?
That's one. Thanks for having me.
34.
34 minutes. Break.